All right, we got this thing back in the shop this weekend. Goal for this weekend, I'm not setting too lofty of a goal. It's just me, so boys are out and about doing stuff. TJ and his buddy will be here a little bit later, but they're gonna be lifting his buddy's Jeep, so they'll be in here if I need a hand. But yeah, just me working on this weekend. So I'm gonna try and get the shock hoops mounted and get the shocks on it so it's sitting on its own weight, not on 2x6s between the axle and the frame. And then get the fenders on it. Well, half the fenders, because I'm only using half the fenders. So half the fenders, get the hood on it so I can actually park this thing outside. It doesn't really need to be parked inside, obviously. But we've had it inside for the last couple weeks because the engine's open. So that's the goal. Not huge lofty goals. If I have more time, I'll do more stuff. I do want to address the oil leak if I can. That probably should be first, but honestly, I can't really lift it with the way it is without strapping the axle up. So that's gonna be the first, is shocks, probably then oil leak, and then the fenders and hood. All right, let's finish with that. And about 29 inches at ride height will give me 5 inches of bump, and the rest droop. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure 29 inches to kind of see the vicinity of where it's gonna be. I think I'm gonna have to cut these down, which is good because it will cut all the garbage off the end and I can start fresh with angles and all that. So I think I figured out how I'm gonna do this. These are too short, so I'm still gonna use them, but I had these F350 shock towers in the shed. So I'm going to cut off a 4-inch section of this, weld this to the frame, slip that down there, weld that all the way around. I'll probably put some gussets in here at some point. And this will be my shock tower. This 4-inch piece will be welded to the frame, and then I'll come up probably behind it with this hoop, weld this whole backside, and then weld this to the frame wherever it lands and wherever it meets. All right, well, when Ryan's not here, I forget to record, so I got to working and forgot to record some of this, but I'll show you what I got. Tyler, quit making noise over there.
Hey, sorry.
I'll show you what I got, and I'll get it welded out. So I got the shock towers on. They're fully welded out, and then I put the hoops behind them, got them tacked on, and just went down the side of the frame there, trying to get a couple different angles and different shear points and whatnot. So I'll weld all the way down both sides of the tube on there, and then all along the top here, and then the engine bar will go right above it, so that'll go all the way across top. So that should be plenty strong, should not go anywhere. So that's what we got. I'll get her welded out and work on the engine bar, and hopefully still get some shocks on here tonight. I was gonna stop at 8, but it's 8:30 and I really want to get this done, so we're gonna keep going. That's full droop. I'm pretty sure these things are supposed to go on the other direction. I've never ran air shocks before, but I'm pretty sure they're on upside down. But the shock, the head of the top does not clear that the forward shock tower I put in. So They're in upside down for now, and I'll make sure they are upside down, and you know, if they're right, then that'll work. If not, then I'll have to flip them, and I'll have to modify this a little bit, but that's not the end of the world, no big deal. And they are a little bit low charge wise for the weight of the big block. So we're gonna call that a night, and we will see you guys tomorrow. All right, so this is what I came up with. I had some receiver stock out there, so I just cut the front of it open, drilled a hole lower so it clears the shock body, and then I'm just gonna weld it all the way around, all three sides, and then I got a piece of flat strap that I'm gonna come down there and box it and tie it into there. So I will start welding it out, and hopefully I have these shocks finally done. Alright, got both sides welded out, and we'll let them cool and start cutting on the hood. And need new neighbors. I'm trying to video over here. Alright. So I get the fenders bolted on and then get the hood cut down. So we'll go get the fenders dug out of the back. Alright, we got the fenders out of the back. I forgot that when Ryan was pulling those apart, there's a couple stuck bolts in there, so I got to get the fender flares off and cut the bolts off for the inner fenders, and then track down the hardware that I'm sure I have no idea what we did with them. So anyways, we're just gonna use the back half of these fenders. So essentially gonna take this body line and just kind of follow it up, so it'll just be this section of the fender. Not really much of the fender, but it'll give me the hood hinges, which is what I'm basically after, and then I'll kind of cover that front half of the cab, make it look a little bit better. But anyways, we'll get the fender flares ripped off of it and get the inner fenders off and see where we're at. All right, we got the fenders kind of bolted on with about 3 bolts. I can't get doors open because it's on the rack, and I don't want to unrack it because the shocks aren't on it. So I got to put the shocks on it and probably address the oil leak, and then we'll drop it down, back it up, and finish bolting the fenders on and bolt the hood on it, and then see what I got to cut to the hood. So getting pretty excited. Things starting to come around. Not much of a fender, but like I said, mainly the reason I did it was kind of make it look more complete in here, and then the hood hinges. That was the big thing. I didn't want to reinvent the wheel with the hood hinges, and I wanted it to still hinge, not pin, because it's a big truck and trying to lift the hood off, it would just be a pain. So yeah, it's starting to look like a truggy. So we will get the shocks put on, put it in here, and see what the oil leak is. All right, we found the oil leak. So I got the gasket ordered. Riley's just dropped it off. So I'll show you what it is, and we'll get her fixed and back this thing out, or back it up anyways. So it is the oil filter adapter gasket. So it's leaking coming right there between the block and the adapter. So it's just that gasket. So nothing's cracked, which is good. I was hoping nothing was cracked. So that's what we got to fix, and like I said, we'll back it out. All right, Tyler and I got the hood set on this thing, and we can't decide if we want to cut it or not because it kind of looks cool like it is. So yeah, spin you guys around, see what you think. I'm not going to cut it today because I'm just undecided, and once I cut it I can't go back. So I'll think on it for a little bit, but I'll spin you guys around and show you. There she is. It's not at ride height on the front. I need nitrogen in the shocks, so it'll come up about probably 3 or 4 inches in the front, and it'll sit level. But I mean, we're like it almost full bump on the shocks, so they need some more nitrogen to come up. So got some tube work to do on the front, and we'll probably put just 4 round lights up in here somewhere. And then the full front's just gonna be tube work. So other than, like I said, the hood, I can't decide whether I want to cut it or not, because I was gonna cut it, come straight from the fender and come down basically the cowl. I was gonna try and cut that out, but it's just not gonna be feasible. So I will just kind of come straight down to that center of that cowl, but we'll see. That'll be another day.
Crank her up with the forklift and see what she does for flex.
It's Saturday night. I'm gonna load the dirt bike up so we can go riding tomorrow and go and relax. Thanks for guys watching.